I don't know if you realize it, but a lot of my talks, I've been giving them to my ghostwriter, Chris. And I'm putting a book together. And today is the last chapter. I've been doing this for about a year, getting it ready for him to do it. And the book, I'm not sure what the title of the book will be, but it will be, every chapter in it will be the power of. And today I decided that we would talk about the power of gratitude. Because the more I reflect on this, I fully understand that gratitude is the single one thing that if we focused on, we could change our lives dramatically. And so as I went through my notes that I've got, the books that I've got, I kept hearing same old cliches about gratitude. Do you know what I'm saying? You know all the cliches about gratitude, don't you? You've heard them 1,000 times. If you've been going to any church, they talk about it all the time. Well, I was meditating Monday, and I'm sitting there with the group that around the world gathered. I think you were there, Elaine, in that meditation. And all of a sudden, boom, download. So I'm there writing away during the meditation because Spirit, that inner voice, it's not an outside presence, it's an inner presence, just said to me, this is it. So I don't know if it's unique or not, but to me, it really struck me. So I'm going to share them with you today. And so the first thing is, gratitude is our ability to appreciate what we receive and experience, whether tangible or intangible. Do you notice that when I say it's our ability to receive what we experience? I didn't say good. Do you notice I didn't say anything about it being a good thing, right? I didn't say whether or not it was a physical object or it could be a mental object. Because in reality, isn't everything just a perception? There's nothing but perceptions. You can have a beautiful Rolls Royce out there. It's nothing except what is your perception of that Rolls Royce. Then the idea is, okay, that Rolls Royce is there. Are you grateful for it if it's yours? Think about the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, Rolls Royces are made by hand. Every part in it is done by hand. There are no robots involved. Think about how fantastic that is. You've got a car that has human touch and everything. It's special. But then again, maybe a Rolls Royce is not important to you. Maybe a Honda Civic is. Because with you, you have a different value structure, and the Civic does everything you want it to do to get you where you want to go. You see, one person will have this perspective, another person will have that perspective, and it doesn't really matter. It's your perspective in your life is all that counts. And so when you have the ability to appreciate everything, now you're headed down the path that's right, a path that's going to nourish you. Gratitude expands us to see both sides of life and come from a perspective of the observer. You see, we have bought into a philosophy called the pursuit of happiness. And if it doesn't make us happy, we're PO'd. And so if we're not happy, if our partner's not making us happy, yada, 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 yada. What is it? Today is like the 29th, I think, so there's 30 days in November. 30. I got 18 more days before I celebrate 48 years of marriage. That's a long time. Now, I want you to know, as I observe my wife, and my wife observes me, there are things we absolutely love. Guess what? There are things that we think stink. Just like that. The other day I put on a new shirt, had it on, hadn't been washed yet. She says, "You smell." Here's what I've learned about my wife. She has a very sensitive nose. I can't smell anything. I go, nothing's there. But you see, I would have gotten upset 20 years ago. Now I just accept that's part of who she is. And she accepts that's who I am. You see, that's love. Love doesn't judge. Can I really implant that in you? So if I was making a statement just now and I caused you to go, oh, why did he say that? You were judging me. That's not love. Remember, everybody in the world is unique. And to take away their ability to be unique is a gross injustice. It's not understanding who we are. It's not understanding life. And right now, let me tell you, you go out into the world if you can, there's some craziness going on. There's more craziness going on right now than I've witnessed in my entire life. And what I come to understand is, I'm looking at it from the observer perspective, there's always been crazy. But social media has made it so that we see it now in real time, all the time, and the focus is there. And we don't realize as much good is happening right now as what we perceive as bad. The racism that we see today is no greater than the racism we saw before. It's always been there. It's not that it's getting bigger, it's always been there. It's just being brought up so that we as individuals can heal ourselves from that racism, that idea that we're not equal, that we're not the same, that we're not one in the perspective of the observer. Gratitude frees us from the past and allows us to be more present in the moment. Do you see, when you're grateful for everything, you're not going to drag the past into the present moment. If you're grateful for that ex-partner who just dumped all over you perceive was just the biggest dirt bag that ever lived, you're stuck in the past. And then when you go to a new relationship, you're bringing that dirt bag in, and when that new person comes in, you take the dirt bag costume, put it on top of that person, and now they're the new dirt bag. But if you look at that person who was not a vibrational match for you, and you realize, I have a clearer picture because I was with them, and I now know what I am a vibrational match to, you can now take steps to become that person, which in turn will attract that person into your life. Gratitude allows you to do that. You see, gratitude is that freeing agent. And so we come to the idea that gratitude heals us and it brings us into balance where our body and mind experience perfect homeostasis. Think about that. Stress is the major cause of all disease. Stress is the major cause of all addiction. If your life is in balance and if you're in gratitude, grateful for everything, there's no stress. If you're feeling stress, rest assured you're not grateful. It's really interesting. The more you play with the G word, this G word is everything. It's the key to living life. It's so simple. I forget, was it St. Thomas or St. something or other? He said, the only prayer you ever need to pray is a prayer of gratitude. He probably didn't say it the first time anyway, so why am I giving him credit? I said it for the first time today. I'm taking credit for it right now. Why not? Am I not one part of the mind of God? What's known in one part of the mind of God is known in all parts of the mind of God. Therefore, I'm tapping into the infinite mind. That infinite mind said to me, hey, gratitude's everything. So let's go on with that. Gratitude gives us confidence that we can step into the unknown and create our desired new experiences. You see, when you're grateful for things, you realize that the vibration that you are created it. And if you understand that your vibration creates everything, then when you go into the unknown, you bring that unknown vibration with you into the unknown. You bring your vibration. You know you're going to create what you want because you've created the vibration. You've created the frequency. I was reminded again, and it's amazing how we tend to forget. And I can remember the first time I took transcendental meditation. That would have been 1995 when I studied it, and I was given a mantra. And I was told, don't worry about the mantra. It doesn't have to have a meaning. It's the sound. It's the frequency. And I've always understood that, but then every time I was given a mantra, I went to see what did it mean. Why did I do that? It was my ego. My ego wants to understand. Here's the key thing is, your mental capability cannot understand the infinite. And if there is a sound associated with a word, like just take the word we're using in meditation right now, aum, A-U-M, A-U-M. the three primordial sounds. There's no meaning to the word, but they're the three primordial sounds. Those sounds make up every other sound that is created. So when you're there and you're going, the vibration of that sound shifts the vibration of your energy. It shifts the vibration of your mind, and you come into a state of homeostasis. No thought, no other work necessary. All you had to do was turn into the frequency of the word. What was the thing? What was the first thing? And it was the word. The word was the first thing, wasn't it? That word alone, the vibration of that word alone, can change your life if you make it a part of your daily practice. See, gratitude takes us out of judgment because we see the good in all things. What does judgment do? Separates us from love. Anytime you're in a relationship with any human being, boss, friend, mother, father, child, whatever it is, romantic partner, if you're judging them, there's no love. Here's the key thing, and I've said this 1,000 times, and some people get it, some people don't. There's no such thing as unconditional love or conditional love. Conditional love does not exist. We in our human mind have taken the word and put unconditional in front of love. Love is unconditional. It's a descriptor of it. So either you are loving or you're not loving. Either you are judging or you're not judging. Do you see how simple that is? So don't go fooling yourself and say, well, I'm loving them a little bit. No. You're judging the hell out of him. Who are you kidding? Why does he have brown shoes on when he's got all blue on? Are you judging me for that? I don't care. I'm just telling you, I consciously chose these shoes. Do you know why? These are special shoes because you can step into them, step on the back heel, and the back heel automatically pops up. So you don't have to bend down to put these shoes on. And if you were going to have major hip surgery, you'd want a pair of these shoes. Or if you have a problem bending over, these are the best shoes ever. So what do I look like? Don't care. I feel good. Do you notice what I just said? I don't care what I look like. I care how I feel. Because here's the thing that I've come to understand more than anything. What we feel is all we care about in life. And when we talk about spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer, the thing that gives it its power is the feeling behind it. The feeling of how you give thanks determines how deep the gratitude will be. The feeling you put behind saying the mantra determines how that vibration goes into you. Feeling is everything, and here's the thing that we talk about so often at Agape. We have learned to close down our heart center. We've closed it down because we've been burned so many times, we've been hurt so many times, and what we don't realize is that the heart center is the fourth chakra. It's the gateway between the lower three chakras and the upper three chakras. So we're totally disconnected from our higher self and our lower self because we haven't opened our heart, because we're going to get that son of a bitch for what they did to us. And we keep our heart chakra closed and not realizing the only person we're hurting is ourselves. So if we can release that and see the good that came out of it, oh my God, we empower ourselves with that. Gratitude builds an inner realization of our creative power. You see, every time I consciously choose something, my mind knows that I'm making a decision. I've changed a habit of thought. And then when that demonstrates, I know I can create more. Here's the key thing. I demonstrated, if you were here, a pizza oven. I put it out 2 weeks ago on a Sunday. I want a pizza oven. Not even a week later, on my front door is a pizza oven by some beautiful couple out in the ethers in California. Sent me a pizza oven. So I'm putting this out there. I'm looking for a HP laptop under $400. It just has to have certain ports. It's about $369. If someone wants to give that, send it via the web to me. And it's not to me, it's for Agape. So I'm practicing the presence right now. If you don't ask, you'll have nothing to be grateful for. Did you really hear what I said? If you don't ask, you have nothing to be grateful for. So I know there's a new person here, so I'm going to share with her my most important agreement that you have to have in a relationship. Do we know what that agreement is, Elaine? Elaine knows it really well. In a relationship, you have one agreement, and it will save you all of the grief. And that agreement is that you will ask for what you want when you want it. By having that agreement, you never have to worry what's on the other person's mind, ever. You never have to think, well, I wonder what he or she's thinking. Don't care. They haven't asked. Gino say to me, hey, have you taken the trash out? I said, did you ask? Well, no, it's not my problem. See how simple it is? If you don't ask, it's not my issue. We don't have an agreement on that. And you're saying, oh, he's cold. Yes, I am. Because I think life should be simple. And I think the more that we can simplify life by creating habits that serve us, we're that much better. Gratitude changes our attitude toward life, and here we can embrace knowing that this too shall pass. This is my favorite mantra that has meaning. Because when you're in the midst of a dark night, and you can just go, this too shall pass, and you reflect back to all the things that have happened before and that you're now grateful for, you'll know that the hell that you may be experiencing now will disappear. And you will be grateful for it, and something else will surface. Rest assured, something else must surface. Because we can't live if there's not contrast. Because you can't feel, you can't experience without it. When two people are grateful, the relationship flows with ease and with grace. See, if I can look at you, Stacy, and say, I am grateful for everything you are, and then you look back at me and say, I'm grateful for you, Lee, just like you are, there's an ease as we talk to each other. But if I'm worried about Stacy judging me, there's not an ease, because now I've got to make a decision. Do I please her, or do I piss her off? Or do I even care? Or do I care too much? You see, that's why when you're in the state of gratitude and you appreciate everything about that individual, boy, everything just flows with ease. And here's what I come to. This is the biggie. Gratitude changes everything. Thanksgiving, unfortunately, we celebrate one day a year, and we probably celebrate it for all the wrong reasons. The Pilgrims sharing a turkey with the Indians. Not really. We don't need to have those ideas. And for us, Thanksgiving this year, probably for you, was much like ours, was very simple. We didn't have anyone over. We didn't do anything special. It was just my son, my wife, and I. We did call our other son. And I think on Thanksgiving, I sent out a lot of messages to people I'm grateful for. Can it get any better than that? Not at all. As I ate my artificial vegan tofurkey, I didn't have to have a turkey to be grateful. I did eat the mashed potatoes. Loved the mashed potatoes. Anyway, that one thing I asked you earlier about what is it that you're least grateful for, I invite you to sit down today, to pull out a piece of paper, and then really go within and ask the question, what good has come from this? And if you can't think of that, ask the question, what good can come from this? I promise you, you will find enough reasons to be grateful.